teams right here. How much do you want to get to Omaha? I'll show you on this pitch. The payoff. Consecutive day.
It's Arkansas Game Day on ESPN Arkansas. Our exclusive coverage of the 2025 Fayetteville Super Regionals is brought to you by ASU Mountain Home, Firstar Bank, and by State Farm Insurance agent Heath Roberts.
Well, a beautiful play to end it. Here comes the hog pile off to Omaha.
No one's going to throw anything at Dave Van Horn in Omaha he hasn't seen before. And so I don't think it's added pressure. I think the pressure's right there.
Whenever I lost, maybe my dad did it to me, I was kind of a little punk.
This is Arkansas Game Day.
2-2. He struck him out swinging, and this one belongs to the Razorbacks. The Hogs beat Tennessee 4-3 to open the Fayetteville Super Regional, and they dominated on the pitcher's mound. 2 hits for Tennessee. Now, they both left the ballpark, but it wasn't enough. The Hogs win 4-3, and they're 1 win away from the Emerald City.
Let's do it again today. How about it? Woo! Hey, welcome in for the next 28 minutes. We've got you here on Arkansas Game Day. Colton Little, I'm Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Bubba Carpenter will be on your airwaves momentarily, but for now, we're talking with you. If you want to jump in here, give us your thoughts on last night's game or on this game today, you can do so at 877-377-6963. That is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Zach Root summed it up best.
Win or go home.
Well, Arkansas has a chance to send Tennessee back to Knoxville and then go up to Baum North here in about a week. That is the opportunity. That's what could await this team is, of course, Charles Schwab for a long time, TD Ameritrade Field, and, of course, before that. And I just the old field just escaped me what they used to play, and someone's gonna have to help me on our text line real quick. Either way, though, what a first performance from Zach Root, Gabe Gackle, the 9 innings you got from them. Only used 2 pitchers. Charles Davalon gets 2 hits, gets on with the walk. You had Brent Iredale with 2 hits. Several guys have multi hits. Almost had Vihiva Loy go out yesterday. A great fielding play by the right fielder there. So a lot happened in yesterday and it action-packed, but Colton, it ended up only just being a 4-3 win for Arkansas. Not a high-scoring affair, but plenty of action, especially some verbal actions that took place yesterday.
Whew, yeah, there was some fire, no doubt about that. And, I like to get here before any of our pregame shows or postgame shows, about an hour before the game starts or before it's over, just to be prepared and everything. It's actually a little bit later than I wanted to get up here because I think all of Fort Chaffee was sending up a big military parade to make sure that they kept Gage Wood contained up there today in case any of those Tennessee players wanted to bark any words at him. Because if you thought that Zach Root was a fireball, we all know what Gage Wood is capable of doing, and some of his ability to get up there and scream a couple words and get a little bit excited. I'm excited about the game today as well because it should be super, super great to watch as a fan and as a lover of baseball. It should be great because, like you said, Ty, it was kind of a pitcher's duel yesterday, more or less, not quite the offensive fireworks that we were expecting to see, and that's because your pitching staff limited this high-flying Tennessee offense to just 2 hits.
Yeah, Zach Root on his outing yesterday.
It felt great. It's every baseball player in college, they want to play in a super, and I was fortunate enough to this is my first super, so just go out there and set the tone for the weekend for the rest of the pitching staff.
Dylan chiming in, thank you, Rosenblatt. That was the one that was on the tip of my tongue, but I just couldn't think of it, Dylan. And he is watching on YouTube. You can always watch us. You can consume us YouTube, X, Facebook, and also Twitch as well. And, of course, hitthatline.com and our Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. I think when you look at today's game, Ryan Van Buren sums it up accurately, I think. Arkansas's got to play their A game because Tennessee is going to be playing desperate. You're getting a kid in Leon Doyle who was frankly embarrassed last time he was here as the SEC Pitcher of the Year, as a fellow Golden Spikes Award finalist with Vihiva Loy. He's going to do everything in his power, everything in his wheelhouse to make sure that Tennessee moves on. We go to Alma, the home of the Airedales, where Terry is patiently waiting here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Terry, your thoughts on the game today, man?
Well, I tell you what, you need to watch out for J.T. Thomas. This boy, he's going to make a difference in either a game today or next week in Omaha. J.T. Thomas, he's due. He's fixing to have a big game. So we'll just get back and see. And Arkansas has Tennessee pitcher's number. We don't need to worry about him. We're going to go out and embarrass him again.
That's what I think Ryan in Prairie Grove agrees with you. You know, you bring up Terry, you bring up Justin Thomas. I mean, it's not often you find a 9-hole hitter in college baseball that's hitting 284, and he's at 8 or 9 home runs. I need to.
He's at 9.
He's at 9. Mm-hmm. So that's not that's seldom seen in college baseball, but that's what you got in your center fielder right now.
Here's the deal. It was last week when I had this feeling JT's going to be a hero in one of these games.
I hope you're right. I really do. Well, Terry, appreciate the call here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. I think, again, you can find the great thing about this baseball team, Colton, is obviously there's the SEC Player of the Year, the Golden Spikes Award finalist, Fayetteville Loy, who's going to get a lot of the glory. Then you have Zach Root, a first-team All-SEC pitcher, a guy that gives you that performance yesterday, did the same against Texas, did the same last week, and they deserve that. But you, as Terry just did, I don't know how many people are driving to the ballpark today or listening here on ESPN Arkansas or just thinking about this game that Justin Thomas is the main guy. But that's what's unique about this team is you could truly look at a lot of different guys and say, you know what, this guy's going to have a major impact today. And, I mean, yesterday probably the best hitting was Charles Davalon, who was great. But you also had two other guys in Iredale and Maxwell that had double-digit hit games. And that's just what this baseball team is made of right now.
Ty, you mentioned Iredale. Even he's had some struggles at the plate recently that I'm sure that he would like to eradicate and totally, remove from his psyche and, just completely get rid of before they make the trip to Omaha after they take care of business today. But, he actually had 2 hits yesterday along with the only guy to have more than 1 strikeout. So that just goes to prove your point that there's not a break in this lineup. Even a guy that's struggling to hit, that hasn't done as well as he would like to, that maybe fallen off in production from what everybody expected him to do this time of year, even though he strikes out twice, he still ends up getting 2 hits yesterday. And, I think that just goes to prove, Ty, that like you said, 1 through 9, you're not catching a break in this lineup if you're an opposing pitcher. I mean, I know that yesterday Tennessee tried to mix and match a little bit. They brought in guys for 1 or 2 pitches here and there, and sometimes it worked out in their favor, and sometimes it was a quick hook just to get them right back out of there in favor of a better matchup. But, Ty, in all honesty, I think that the Razorback hitters this year have done a much better job at being aggressive as well as knowing the pitcher's tendencies. It seems like they cut over to Nate Thompson going over a diligent study with, these pitchers every time they change them out. And I know I've seen that in years past, but it just seems like these guys are so much more locked in and focused on, okay, who's coming in? What are these pitchers' tendencies and how can I adjust? This is a team full of baseball players, guys that have played and swung the bat for a long time, and guys that I think are capable of taking a lot of coaching, capable of changing and adjusting and adapting their swing to the moment, to the specific pitcher, and that's the keystone of any that's the cornerstone of any successful baseball player.
And the evidence is the fact that they're number 1 in the SEC in batting average, and they have performances that over yesterday they got 10 hits. They just left a lot of guys on, but there's been multiple performances this year that you simply have too much trouble with this baseball team. Anthony from Bowden texting and asking about Gage Wood. Yes, he is pitching today. He feels like that Gage's stuff is right there with Doyle, in his opinion. Well, Anthony, it's not just your opinion. Gage, kind of like Doyle, is a potential first-round draft pick, according to some. So there's a lot of people, not just Arkansas fans, that are high on Gage Wood yesterday. In terms of what we saw and just the complete game itself, here's DVH following last night's performance and just his overall thoughts on Game 1.
Really, we had 3 big swings after a great base running move, 2 outs. We score. I think we scored all of our runs with 2 outs, and Davalon's single. We knew we needed another run. It just felt like we did, and left on left, and I just thought that Charles did a great job of staying over the pitch and slapping it the other way. Zach was outstanding. Gackle's outstanding, and just a real pitcher's duel.
Hopefully you get another quality pitching performance from your starter today in Gage Wood. Jeff asking, how do you get to Liam Doyle early on Facebook? Well, Bubba was breaking it down yesterday, talking about the strike zone. And I don't want to get too nitty-gritty, too in the weeds here, Or two in the weeds is more what I meant to say. But depends on if Doyle's getting that high fastball or not. If he is, it's obviously going to be a much more difficult pitcher to get to today. But again, Arkansas knocked him around. You heard Terry's confidence earlier. We've got multiple textures here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline that are confident about Arkansas's chances against Liam Doyle here in about 50 minutes from now. We got to take a break. One more segment of Arkansas Game Day coming up. It would not be possible with my insurance agent, Heath Roberts at State Farm. ASU Mountain Home and Firstar Bank. They have been our presenting sponsors of the Fayetteville Super Regional all week long. We really appreciate all of them being a part of our coverage. Hog Reaction, again, following the game later on tonight with Cole and myself, and we'll definitely have a lot more to discuss, either with Arkansas an opportunity to go to Omaha or a decisive Game 3 that we'll find out what time it would be tomorrow. More Hog Reaction or more Arkansas Game Day when we come back here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day.
One more.
Our exclusive coverage of the 2025 Fayetteville Super Regionals is brought to you by ASU Mountain Home, Firstar Bank, and by State Farm Insurance Agent Heath Roberts.
Gone again! Back-to-back. Helfrich has hit home runs in back-to-back innings.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Heath Roberts right here in the River Valley can switch you over so you can start saving today. Heath and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Heath Roberts, it's easy to switch and save. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call Heath Roberts at 479-452-4088.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, Firstar Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. Firstar Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firstar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with extra rebates for a limited time. Kofer's features low pontoons and fishing boats, Malibu and Axis wake surf boats, Camus bass boats, and Kofer's has recently added the luxury line of Harris pontoons. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all of your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service is second to none. Plus, they have the best boat storage option in town. Find them online at Kofers.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971.
Storm season is here. Is your roof ready? Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has wrecked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They have the #1 certainteed roofing company in Arkansas. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
You've got the shoes. Now finish the run strong. At True Grit Running Company, we've got the gear that goes the extra mile. Socks that fit and protect your feet and improve how the shoes fit, feel, and perform. Hydration bottles, packs, and belts to keep you going through the hot summer. And Ufos recovery sandals and shoes, your feet will thank you. Because running isn't just about the miles, it's about the details. Come see the gear at True Grit Running Company, where every step counts. 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Hey, Ty Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials.
We do have awesome lunch specials. Monday through Friday, we've got any small pizza for $7.99. You can also order a salad with it. Great In-N-Out special for a quick lunch.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more.
Call Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747 or check them out online at pittmantrt.com. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's Arkansas Game Day on ESPN Arkansas, brought to you by ASU Mountain Home, Firstar Bank, and by State Farm Insurance Agent Heath Roberts.
The road to Omaha cuts right through Northwest Arkansas and stops right here.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
A gutty, gritty group from Fayetteville finds a way to win.
This is Arkansas Game Day.
Jesse from Springdale wants to know, Colton, will we see an over or under combined score of 8 runs today between the Razorbacks and Volunteers? 4-3 the final yesterday in favor of the Razorbacks in game number 1. Also want to get into some other games momentarily as well. What are your thoughts on Jesse's initial question?
You mentioned Liam Doyle going into the break right there about how if Bubba mentioned it as well on the post game yesterday, how if he gets that high fastball going, that it's going to be it could be tough for Razorback hitters. But Bubba's right. I think that if Liam Doyle pitches as well as he has throughout most of the season, it'll probably be a very difficult day at the plate for the Razorbacks. But with that same token, I do believe that the Razorbacks keyed in on Doyle last time. They took advantage of his aggressive nature on the mound and were able to hit that fastball that he was able to execute throughout most of the season that he couldn't do at Baum Walker Stadium. But look, there's another guy that was born on the banks of the White River in Independence County in Batesville that has a pretty good high fastball too. And he's up there for the Razorbacks today, and the Volunteers got to face him. And if he gets that fastball going, I don't know, Jesse. It could be a 9-0 game if the Razorback hitters key in on fastball like they did last time for Doyle and Gage Wood gets it going. I don't know.
David and Alma saying, Ty, I'm going to tell you, if it wasn't for Charles Davalon and Camden Kojal, this team wouldn't be where they are. Those brothers are good. But the toughness from Davalon and Kojal is what makes this really, really good. You think about Davalon, just again, first and third, he gets on as the leadoff guy. Kojal, smart base running play. Again, the first 3 innings, they left, what was it, 1, 3, and then 2 runners on. I think it was a combined 6 runners in the first 3 innings that this team left on. So just to get a run initially, that was awesome. Ryan Prairie Grove thinks they're going to go for the throat today, which would be nice. And I think, again, when it comes to the pitching prowess of Doyle, Arkansas, it hadn't just been the Razorbacks. He's got knocked around on the road a time or two this season, but one of the worst outings of his career not his career, but this season came against your Arkansas Razorbacks, and you're hoping that whatever they took from that game, I'm talking about your batters, can have a similar kind of an impact later on here in about 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, and I mean, no doubt about it. This kid has got all the scouts drooling over him, and for good reason. He's got all the tools that you want for a major league pitcher, and the Razorbacks have their hands full today, but you mentioned Davalon right there. It seems like he's always getting on base, whether it's a clutch hit, whether it's, working the count all the way down or all the way up to full and just, working foul ball and after foul ball after foul ball. It's a team full of baseball players. I've said it before, and I think that you really need production out of the top half of your lineup, and that does include Vahiva Aloy, who yesterday was the only Razorback that didn't get a hit outside of your 9-hole hitter, Justin Thomas. So I think that today you need to have the continuation of that balanced attack that's got you to this point. We got a text here on the text line earlier. I believe it's David and Alma that said that Kojal and Davalon are kind of the straw that stirs the drink for this Razorback baseball team. And I think that that's true. I think early on in the season, I could barely tell those two guys apart. They're built kind of similar. They're of similar height, curly kind of hair. And I think that they've definitely established themselves as household names in this state because of their play. There's that great clip that Phil had yesterday about how Cam Kojal is a dirty player in all the right ways because he had such a great read on that play. The ball in the dirt with the backup catcher couldn't make the block in time after a ball was in the dirt, and Kojal got the great jump on it, ended up being the deciding factor in the game. I mean, it was a one-run game, and that run ended up being the one that put you over the top. So I think that this team just has so many guys that are able to move runners around and just be really, really balanced offensively. They have to continue to do that, Ty.
This text comes from Arky in Northwest Arkansas. Just like a QB who wants to move the chains and score on the first drive, Gage Wood needs little to no traffic and some Ks early. As for Doyle, make him hit the zone and punish him when he does. Joel and Prairie Grove texting us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. It feels like destiny. This team, these fans, and the spirit of Razorback Nation today. Let's ride that momentum all the way to Omaha. Even Coach Vitello felt the energy.
To me, it kind of seemed like it was the fourth game. It was like that when we were here last time. So, and I was asked yesterday, like, will the crowd be different? Yeah, it was different. Little bit of elevated sense of energy in the air, but the crowd was the same. They were the same when I was here. They're rowdy, and they come out in big numbers. So, again, I bet it's great everywhere across the country, but there is a little bit something different about people in the Southeast. They are passionate is understatement.
Speaking of what's happening around the country, some yesterday outcomes. Coastal Carolina, if you haven't heard, has moved on and advanced to Omaha. Florida State ended up tying it up, and it's now 1-1 as they will play the final game in Corvallis later on today. LSU took game 1 for Virginia. Arizona beat North Carolina, and then UTSA lost 5-2 to UCLA. As far as the games today are concerned, again, the Chanticleers have already advanced. Arizona, Colton Turnley up on North Carolina 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Definitely keeping an eye on that. Yeah. No other game has started. The Oregon State and Florida State game is not till later on tonight at 8 o'clock, being that it's on the West Coast. It's 6 o'clock their time, so that's a late one. I don't know how many Arkansas fans will be staying up to watch to see if the Seminoles or Oregon State end up going to Omaha. LSU, I'm going to guess, closes it out today in Baton Rouge, and UTSA trying to bounce back again against UCLA. That's your setup for today. That'd be something if Arizona was to beat North Carolina. Arkansas knows a little something about winning in Chapel Hill in the Super Regional. Wildcats could have a similar outcome today in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, I'll be definitely tuned in to see UTSA and UCLA. Those Roadrunners there, that's a really exciting baseball team to watch. Stole home yesterday, hit the ball out of the park on the second pitch of the game. So I'll be keeping my eye on that one as well. And there's definitely a lot to watch yesterday in terms of all of college baseball. And I think just the most exciting but intense game that everybody's going to be tuned into if they care about college baseball will be this game 2 today, because you've just got stars all across the field. I know that Doyle is going to be a tough matchup for the Razorbacks, and it should be super exciting to watch. I know that it'll have everybody's eyes on this state. Definitely will be on that game.
Yeah. So again, you've got one SEC team that will come out of this weekend, and LSU, a high likelihood, a high possibility of them advancing. Only a possibility of 2 SEC teams. That's the highest you can get to, with Auburn being beating their own super regional. So curious to see if the SEC domination continues in Omaha, Nebraska later on this week. And I don't know about you. I got some listeners texting me yesterday that after last night's win they booked. I would not jump the gun on anything just yet. I would love for them to close out today. I would love for this thing to be signed, sealed, and delivered as of about 5 o'clock this afternoon. I just feel like it's going to be a dogfight, and I feel like there's going to be a game 3 that we're probably talking about tomorrow and leading up to it. And then, of course, later on tonight for Hog Reaction. I've been wrong before, and hopefully I'm wrong again.
I think so, too. Hey, by the way, there has been some clarification. We tossed this around the other day. There is a really posh French exclamation on Chanticleers.
Chanticleer.
Chanticleers.
Chanticleers. Okay, that's better. Hey, this is, again, all of our super regional coverage brought to you by my insurance agent, Heath Roberts at State Farms. I chose him for my house, my car, everything. He takes care of it. You can give him a call at 479-452-4088. That's my friend, my insurance agent, Heath Roberts at State Farm. By ASU Mountain Home, over 60 degrees in technical programs that they're offering at the #1 community college in Arkansas. Visit asumh.edu. And by Firstar Bank. Whether you're saving, borrowing, or planning, call Firstar Bank, your local bank with all the digital tools, your hometown bank for all your first. That's Firstar Bank. For Colton Little, I'm Ty Richardson. Hand in the microphones to Phil Elson and Bubba Carpenter. They take over live from Bomb Walker next.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day.
Joe's not finished. We got a little more.
Our exclusive coverage of the 2025 Fayetteville Super Regionals is brought to you by ASU Mountain Home, Firstar Bank, and by State Farm Insurance agent Heath Roberts.
Gone again! Back to back